You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Hello and welcome to Cult Talk Net's very special Christmas Eve special just for you and for me. I don't know about you folks listening, but my family has a tradition of, well, first, I guess, introducing ourselves. I'm Eric.
I'm Todd.
And we have a tradition of opening up just one present on Christmas Eve. Did your family do that, Ty?
Yeah, we've always done that. There were some years we just opened everything on Christmas Eve too. Like the anticipation was too high.
Oh no!
But
we kept it to one, and so tonight my one gift is from you. As a matter of fact,
yeah.
You're going to be telling me about an interesting Christmas movie.
A very interesting Christmas movie. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it's not a good movie by any means. I can admit that. I like this movie in a very weird capacity where I find it to be very boring for the most part.
Really?
It's only good when we actually have our title character on screen. And the rest of the movie's pretty fucking bad in my opinion. But there's enough of our title character in it to make it an enjoyable ride for myself, someone like me who enjoys this kind of stuff. I'm able to get what I need out of it. I use it around this time and just toss it off the side. But it's a good flick as far as like the performance we get out of it from our title character. But the rest of the movie is pretty fucking bad in my opinion.
That's hilarious. Wow, that's got to be pretty bad for you to say that, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty rough. But there's luckily enough of what we're here for.
Yep.
To make it worthwhile.
Yes.
This is of course the 2005 holiday slasher horror comedy Santa Sleigh.
Yes. Ho, ho,
starring
ho.
Bill Goldberg.
Which I thought was interesting. I didn't realize that's who that was.
Yeah,
That's
this
pretty
big
cool.
Jewish wrestler playing Santa Claus. It's very
I
interesting.
didn't know he was Jewish.
Goldberg?
Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. I try not to.
I don't know if he practices Judaism, but
he
it's definitely a Jewish
rooted last name. It seems like.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about this, I don't know if a lot of our viewers will know. I know you would, but there's actually like last year, I think it was Dodge put out it was Dodge or Ford, one of the two, put out a advertising campaign around the holidays where Bill Goldberg played Santa Claus in that as well.
Oh my gosh!
Not as this Santa Claus, but he was Santa Claus,
An
and
actual nice.
It was very interesting. Yeah, it was very interesting. He was like a big, like muscled up Santa Claus and he replaced a sleigh with one of the I guess it was probably Ford Mustangs. I bet he replaced the reindeer with the Mustang. So yeah, that was like a big thing last year. I noticed it caught my attention because I don't know if anyone's really, if they cast him because of this movie or just because he's a big dude. It's funny to see him play something like Santa Claus, but
right.
Yeah, that was interesting last year to see that come across.
Yeah, it looks like it was Mustang, and that's I'll bet you it was a Santa Sleigh fan that was like, yeah, let's get Goldberg on.
He's also a big car guy though too. I think he has a couple shows like on History Channel and shit where he would
cool,
delve into muscle cars and shit.
Talk about the cool cars, the vroom vroom cars.
Yeah, you've never seen this though, right? You've never set your eyes on the actual film Santa Sleigh.
I have not ever watched Santa Sleigh before. Usually I say before now. because I'm catching up to everyone else on their movies, but I haven't even seen this one. This is a very
this is going to be an interesting episode because unlike our other ones, Eric has not watched the movie. I've watched the movie. This is like a princess, like Princess Bride. I'm the old man and you're Fred Savage.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Read you, I'm going to read you a story.
Hey, can we skip the kissing scenes?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to be hitting the hits here because like, this is our Christmas Eve special. Our tradition here on Cult Talk Net is generally our holiday specials or something a little different.
Yes.
From our normal fare. So this is we'll try to keep this a little shorter.
Yep.
Just something for everyone to have on while they're
cookies for Santa.
Yeah, you're getting ready to lay down for the evening. Yep. Tomorrow's a big day. I don't want to keep you guys up too long.
No, we want to get those sugar plums and whatnot dancing in your heads.
Yeah. So we're just going to. I'm going to kind of give Eric the hits here on Santa's Sleigh. I guess we can go and get right into it. I can give you a little bit of like the breakdown here first of like who all's involved.
Okay.
This was produced by Brett Ratner, pretty controversial guy.
Really,
a lot of scandals. He's one of those sexual deviant dudes who Hollywood is currently trying to rid themselves of.
Yeah.
Around this time, I don't think there was many accusations toward him. He was probably better known around this time for the X-Men series. The X-Men films.
Okay.
The Rush Hour movies. He directed those. Just stuff like that. He's a pretty prominent director, pretty big guy. So this wasn't like this is a low budget movie, but it was kind of. I felt like maybe it was kind of like a passion project, or at least had someone like Brett Ratner, who at this time was at the height of his career. I would say.
Okay.
For him to want to produce this straight to video holiday horror movie, it says something about it. I don't know if it was just an idea they kicking around or what really the story behind why he was involved is, but he's the more prominent figure in the process of making the movie.
Okay.
It's also directed by David Steinman, who I don't want to profile, but that sounds Jewish, right? He sounds like that's a Jewish name, I imagine. And whatever reason, I tried to follow him. Do you have IMDb up, right?
I do. I've got a couple
because his wiki just directs you right back to Santa's Sleigh.
Is that right?
So he must not have done too much.
It looks like that's his only directing credit on IMDb.
Oh, it says here he was a former assistant to Brett Ratner. So this must have been like a little favor kind of thing where
that's what it looks like.
He's a former assistant, decides like, hey, I want to make a movie, and Brett must have offered his hand out
and said, okay, we'll make you this movie because it
looks
looks
like what you got.
Looks like the director also wrote it.
Yes,
wrote Santa's Sleigh, and that's his only writing credit as well.
Wow, he came in, did this, and got out.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, and other than that, he's got like 7 credits as assistant to the director or to Mr. Ratner, and a couple others where it's kind of like, it looks kind of like he played himself in a like This Week in Horror, whatever that is, and A Director's Journey, the making of Red Dragon. He played himself. Although he was not the director.
Yeah, because Brett Ratner also directed Red Dragon.
There we go. That's the
Hannibal
there.
The Hannibal film. So there's this movie. One of the things it also does is it casts so many like that guy actors in it. There's so many character actors that pop up in it. And I know this is what makes something I'm like harping on this. A lot of Jewish stuff in it for some reason. And I guess I'm assuming this guy is Jewish, Brett Steinman or David Steinman.
Right.
But there is a lot of like Jewish
names in there.
A lot of, like they kind of like hit on Judaism a lot, kind of poke fun of it a lot. A lot of the actors that are involved are of Jewish descent. It's super weird. Like I don't know what the point of it was, but there's a lot of like little tip the hat to Judaism in this for a Christmas movie.
Interesting.
You get a pretty good taste of that at the beginning. The very first scene is very interesting. It's kind of like they shot this separately. I almost feel like they shot this later, or was because this opening scene has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Okay, I kind of
never addressed again. None of these characters ever appear again, aside from our Bill Goldberg Santa Claus.
Right.
But it opens on Christmas Eve in Alberta, Canada, and there's this family who are all played by Jewish celebrities, like Jewish character actors.
Is that right? So I did watch the opening scene, and that was about it. I was like, oh, there's a name in there, Fran Drescher. I was like,
Fran
she was in
Drescher. You
this
got
movie.
Chris Kattan.
Who else?
Who the whole time I've never noticed this, and maybe our listeners probably may know. You remind me a lot of Chris Kattan.
Is that right?
That is. I saw Chris Kattan here. I watched him. I was like, that reminds me an awful lot of Eric. His mannerisms, the way he acts, like he reminded me a lot of you.
I will choose to take that as a compliment. I
find Chris Kattan fairly talented.
He's a pretty funny guy.
Really enjoy him. He did a very interesting movie like years ago, and like no one knows about it. And it's super good, and it was just one of these movies that got kind of like dumped on the movie shelves. It was this zombie western.
A zombie western?
It's really good. It's really funny. It's very interesting. It's low budget, but it's not one of those like, trash movies.
Uh-huh.
It's called
I think
Undead or Alive.
Yes.
And it's actually pretty good, and it's very he plays a very funny role in it. It's very well put together. And it just kind of got dumped on the shelves, and it took me even a while to find it. I think I found it years after it came out. I kind of like stumbled across it because I've always loved that idea of a zombie western. I've always really thought that was a cool concept. And I stumbled upon this movie, and it's a lot different than what I expected, but it's really good. He plays a really cool role in it. He's like he's like the second lead.
Oh, cool. Okay. Kind of like a gunslinger.
It's really good. Yeah, it is really good.
Cool.
And a lot of people don't know about that movie, but he's done some really cool stuff, and people just a lot of times just associate him with the annoying characters he played on Saturday Night Live and things like that. But he's Corky Romano, stuff like that. But he's actually done some really cool stuff. If you actually look at his career, he's kind of branched out and did some interesting things. But I actually really enjoy him. But yeah, he reminded me a lot of you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Well,
I compared you to Chris
Merry
Kattan.
Christmas. That's
yeah, enjoy it.
Ty is just the sweetest, folks.
I am. Usually, the worst compliments are usually the better for me. Like I'd be like, "Oh, you're as good as Alien Apocalypse," and that'd be a term of endearment. But so. This opens up, and like it's super weird the way it's set up because it's just his family. They're all Jewish, and this is when it's like really delving into this like Jewish subtext of almost being like a tongue-in-cheek like riff on Judaism, because it's his Jewish family, and they're all just going on about how rich they are, and all their material possessions.
I was they were very
and I think it's kind of like that's kind of the joke. Is like, oh, this like really, this heinous family of Jewish people, and then here comes Santa Claus to kill them. And I guess it's like a funny thing he wanted to throw in there. It's kind of like parodying the negative connotation of Judaism. So Santa Claus comes down the chimney and just decimates his family. And like you said, we have Chris Kattan, we have James Caan, we have Fran Drescher, and he just obliterates his family and uses a lot of different one of the things that Santa Claus does is he kind of uses the things around him. He's a very resourceful slasher.
Okay.
Like he drowns Fran Drescher in eggnog.
Oh my god!
He grabs the star off top of the tree and uses a ninja star. Stuff like that. I mean, he suffocates one of the guys with a leg off the turkey.
Yeah.
He's brutal, and he uses everything at his disposal. And that's
he's like the Jackie Chan of slashers, kind of. Jackie Chan always kind of incorporates the set into his fight scenes and stuff.
And you saw you said you watched this opening scene.
I did watch the opening.
What do you think of like your first impression of Bill Goldberg's Santa Claus?
Wow, that was crazy. His voice is super deep. Is it always that deep? I feel like it's.
I think they did an effect with it.
Okay,
but his voice is pretty deep. Like I'm a big wrestling fan, or I was a big wrestling fan. Especially growing up, I was a big fan of Bill Goldberg myself. Like cool. When I was a kid, he was like my Hulk Hogan. That was like the guy when I was growing up. So I always loved him, and I remember like many nights, Monday nights, sitting up watching WCW and hearing Bill Goldberg do his promos and stuff like that. And he does have just a very gravelly, like, intense voice.
Oh,
And I
wow.
think they used his voice here for the most part, but I think they tweaked it just a bit to make it a little more deeper.
Yeah.
A little, because it does have kind of like this like reverb to it. So they do something with his voice, but not much. I mean, it's pretty much his voice. But he comes down and just decimates his family, kicks the dog into the fire,
That was
shit like
so
that.
crazy.
He is brutal. Like, that's one of the things about Santa in this movie is there's like no limit to what he'll do, and like we see the kills throughout the movie. Like there's no mercy. Like
it doesn't matter
it's
if you're
like
naughty,
elderly
nice.
people. There's kids. Like he kills animals and the nicest people, the meanest people. If you're in his path, you're getting slaughtered in some way.
Yeah.
And it's usually by some creative mean. And that's our opening scene. We set it with like there's like 6 or 7 kills right in that first opening scene.
Just straight
and
off the bat.
Yeah, just right off the rip, he just goes and just slaughters these people. And we never see more about that. Like it feels like to me that they probably shot that later when they're like, oh, we need something a little more,
right?
A little more to beef this thing up. So let's kill off these.
Yeah,
these recognizable faces.
Put it in the beginning as a cold open.
Yeah, that's really what it was, a cold open.
Yeah.
We cut to the main location where the rest of the movie is going to take place. It's a town called Hell, Massachusetts, or I forget, Hell, Wisconsin. I think it's a town called Hell.
Okay.
And that comes into play later on. And also, they overuse the bit a lot with, I'm freezing in hell, or it's a cold day in hell. They do that a lot.
Hell froze over.
Hell froze over. I'm sitting in hell. I'm living in hell. They use that a lot.
Wow.
We first come into this movie when we go to this Jewish deli run by Mr. Green. He's a deli guy. He's played by Saul Rubnick, who is another character actor. He most prominent thing, I think he's on Wall Street. That's the only thing I really remember him from is Wall Street, the 1987 movie. He's been in other stuff, like I think he was in Nixon and things like that. But he's a character. He's one of those guys you would see and you recognize. You ever seen that movie show Warehouse 13?
I've heard of Warehouse 13.
Okay. Yeah. He's like the main, like, I don't know, like the old wise guy in that one. Like
kind of like a mentor or a guy in the chair, sort of.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. And we also are introduced to our main character, and this is the thing I hate most of this movie. Is the lead character, this kid named Nicholas Yulson.
Oh my God, Yulson.
Yeah, Nicholas Yulson.
Son of Yule.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Whoa, how crazy.
And he is awful.
Is he?
I despise everything about him is from the writing to the performance. I just cannot stand it. That's one of the big parts about the movie that I hate is when we're stuck with just him and other characters interacting. Because, like I said, the movie to me is only enjoyable when we have Santa on screen.
Right.
I think the rest of the movie is very, very lackluster, and it's only good when we have Santa on screen.
Right.
I watched some really shitty movies. I put up with some shit.
Oh yeah, you sure do. You'll dig through the muck for some movies.
I will. And this is one of those movies where it really feels like I have to do that because I want to get to these bits with Santa because they're genuinely enjoyable.
Right.
But the wraparound and like the meat of the story that they tried to like throw in is just not there. It's very poorly done.
I see.
And the actors they have are not like, well, I do not like this kid. I don't want to use the actor's name, but this Douglas Smith kid.
Right.
I can't think of anything I've ever seen him in other than this. I just did not enjoy his performance at all.
Really? Was he just, was it just that he's not a good, is he a good actor?
It's kind of both. It's kind of both. Because I mean, the writing they gave him was terrible.
Yeah.
But also just a good actor can sometimes save bad writing. We've seen Bruce do it.
Oh yes. Definitely.
But this kid, he was just not there.
The only thing I'm really recognizing that he was in was Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters.
Oh, I own that movie. I've never watched it.
Yeah, I just never really got interested in the Percy Jackson movies.
I have some friends that are like really big into those movies.
Is that right? Well,
yeah, I've just never got into it.
Me neither. I can't knock it because I haven't seen it, but just did not catch my interest. Now there's another. Where's she at? Mary Mackenzie Mac.
Oh, Mary, yeah, our love heroine, yeah.
Okay, she is the heroine of the movie. Okay,
in the sense that she's the only other girl in the movie, but yeah.
What is it?
since she's the only girl in the movie that it's recognizable. But,
oh no.
Yeah, I don't enjoy her. I don't enjoy any of the human characters, honestly.
Right.
Even like the one character we're supposed to care about, who we're introduced here in a little bit, I don't really enjoy him either. But this Mary girl, she's the love interest of Nick.
Uh-huh.
There's a little bit they throw with her. One of her character traits or arcs or whatever is that her dad is like a Burt Gummer-esque gun enthusiast guy.
Okay.
Who we don't really see until the end. At the end, we see him do that kind of stuff, but for the most part, it's just like context. Like they're like, it's mentioned, it's brought up, and like,
okay.
with some, we're told that her dad is like this gun nut. And
is it kind of like a gag? Like they present it like it's a gag, and then it ends up being like a Deus Ex Machina sort of thing?
It's a Deus Ex Machina at the end.
Oh,
at the end,
okay.
It's just like, oh, here's how we get a bazooka. That's like
Jesus.
That's the whole point of it. But like it doesn't like play in her character. Like she's not like a super badass, or like she doesn't have a just happen to have a machine gun on her or something like that. Oh, my dad gave me this for protection, something like that. Like don't steal that bit. That's a bit I have in my script bank there for that. So don't steal that. But there's nothing like that in there. But there's shit in like that they do that a lot with her character, because it's mentioned, but it's never really brought up into like importance till the end.
Gotcha. Is it kind of like okay, we fucking get it, your dad's
not really, they don't
guns.
beat you over the head with it, but that's like the only discernible trait she has. It's just like that's mentioned every now and then, like, oh, your dad's a gun nut. It's okay, he likes to hunt things. That's like a thing too. He's in this group called Animals Against Animals or some shit like that. That's what it's called. Or
Jesus.
Or it's just like it's a hunting club. And she brings, at one point, there's this bit where she brings a Wolverine over for dinner.
Oh my God.
It's like a dead Wolverine that like hasn't been skinned or cut or like that. Just
they're gonna eat. Just eat Wolverine.
Wow. So there's like things like that. Like it's just a weird thing they give her. But no, I don't enjoy her either.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy really any of the characters. Like this Mr. Green, he's the deli guy. They want you to care about him. Like he's like one of the only nice characters in the movie. Cause like that's one of the things you realize when you watch this movie is everybody's an asshole and everybody deserves to die. Like that's everybody's on the naughty list. That's like the thing.
Okay.
Every character we meet is a piece of shit except for like Mr. Green and the other character I'll introduce to you in a little bit. But
okay.
So far, Mr. Green's the only one. And there's even like this old woman, right, when we get introduced. She's the first like kill in the town, I guess.
Oh.
She's just this old woman that comes in and she's like, I want my roast beef or whatever. And they give her roast beef, and the Mr. Green's like, all right, well, happy holidays. And she's like, don't give me that PC bullshit. It's Merry Christmas. Now fuck off. And like,
oh my God.
And like as she's leaving, she just like looks to Mary. She's like filthy slut. And like, that's like her thing. Like, that's like every character in the movie is just like, we're the nastiest people you can think of. And she leaves. And then this old lady, she leaves. And then Santa Claus just appears in the town. There's no real like build up to him or anything like that. He just appears in the town. He's riding his sleigh. And this is one of the cooler parts of the whole thing. Everything with the Santa in this movie is awesome.
Okay.
He has this sleigh that's driven by a hell deer.
A hell
and it's
deer.
this giant, practical for the most part. There's a couple shots where it's CGI, but it's this giant buffalo like beast. It's like this huge ass buffalo reindeer. They call it a hell deer, and it's just like trotting down the road and just runs this woman right off the road, and her car explodes. It's like, and that is our introduction to Santa Claus making his way to the town.
Holy crap! You said that was practical, like a real fucking buffalo?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's an animatronic for the most part. They shoot it. I'm sure it's like on a trailer, because a lot of times when they'll shoot it moving, there's like a snowbank in the way or something like that. Like covering the They'll do clever things. For the most part, it's practical. I think they probably do throw like a cost over a buffalo.
Wow.
Because I know they do that a lot, and like I've seen movies where they throw like I like that Army of the Dead movie that came out recently on Netflix. Like there's a zombie horse in there. I know that's just a real horse. They just kind of threw like a zombie outfit over. So there might be bits in this where it is maybe an actual buffalo that they just kind of have dressed up.
Okay.
But But for the most part, it's practical, and there's a couple shots where it's CG, when it flies and shit like that, obviously.
Right.
But for the most part, we see it trotting around. It's usually practical.
Holy crap!
It's pretty impressive.
I kind of like that. A hell deer.
Have you looked it up?
No. Let me.
You should check it out. It's pretty impressive. But so this is one of the things I don't particularly like about the movie is we have the plot, which we get kind of fed here shortly.
Okay.
But throughout the rest of the movie, like the plot is very thin. So they fill out the movie with these like random kill sequences, which are pretty enjoyable, but it's just kind of a mess. It's just kind of like there's no real rhyme or reason where they come in at. There's kind of like, all right, we need to get some kills here. Here's this sequence where we got some kills. Like we're introduced to our one of our characters who is in this movie is way more than he should have. Like he probably should die pretty early. By storytelling standards. It's this pastor. His name is Pastor Timmons, and he's played by another character actor by the name of Dave Thomas. He's one of these guys. If you know him, you know him kind of thing.
Yeah, I recognize his face.
Yeah. Like I know him. So that's the thing too. A lot of these actors are Canadian.
Okay.
Like I know him from Strange Brew. It's this like Canadian buddy comedy movie with him and Rick Moranis.
Oh, okay.
Like that's where I know him from because I had a phase I was really into that. It's basically like from this show called The Great North, where it's basically the Canadian Saturday Night Live, and this is like their movie they did based off of those sketches, but I know him from that. So
okay,
a lot of these actors that you see, these character actors, are Canadian comedians and Canadian comedy people. So
interesting.
But he plays Pastor Timmons, and he is just the most like blatantly crooked pastor.
Oh god,
like you can think of. Like we're introduced to him. He's having a church. Their Christmas Eve sermon or whatever, and like he's just telling about give your money, give whatever money you can. I still see money in your purse. Put it in the tide plates.
Jesus,
I don't want to see change. Big bills only. Big bills only. All that kind of stuff. And, then we see he leaves the church. He just kind of dumps it in his. He's got the money with him. So they have this church service, and it's like this 5-minute span where they have the church service, and then he leaves the church and he goes right to the strip club.
Oh my god! With all of their tithe money,
yeah, and like he goes to the church. He's like, how? He goes to the strip club. He's like, how's the crowd? He's like, oh, it's light. You'll get a lot of attention. So he goes into the church, into the strip club. Sorry, getting church and strip club mixed up. Basically the same thing.
It's his church, I guess.
It is. So he goes in there, and then like he enters the strip club, and as he enters, up pulls Santa Claus. In his sleigh, and what does he say? He says something like, I came here for the hose.
Oh god. And
that's not he uses that bit twice within like the same span of time. He enters the strip club, and the Santa Claus does. And he just looks around, and he does the whole he goes ho ho hose, and he like grabs one of the strippers, like makes out with her.
Jeez.
And apparently the strip club people aren't happy about that, so they attack him, and then we just get this big bar brawl with Santa killing everybody.
Oh my god.
He's
like bouncers,
he's killing bouncers, he's killing patrons, he's throwing strippers against walls, and just decimates this whole strip club. And it's a really random thing they do. It's one of these random little set pieces they've decided they want in the movie, so they just stick it in here. We see him randomly kill this old woman, and we see him randomly kill strippers. None of it has to do with the plot, aside from the minister. He survives. He like hides. And he survives, so he gets to continue living. And there's another bit later on, because that's the other thing. All this stuff is supposed to take place within like the same day.
Okay, like Christmas Eve, basically.
It's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Okay.
So we have two. So we move on past that. We have Nicholas. This is where we introduce to his grandpa. And his grandpa is a very big part of the movie. The main plot point of the whole thing is his grandpa, who's this crackpot inventor. All the cheesy bits you can think of about these movie inventors. Where they have all this weird contraption. It doesn't work right. Like his big thing is like he has a nutcracker he made, and apparently I didn't know about this. Apparently, if you crack a chestnut before it is warm enough, it'll like explode.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's like a real thing, but that's like something that gets brought up. Like the kid grabs a chestnut and just cracks it offhand. It explodes and shoots across the laboratory like a bullet.
Oh my gosh, like pinging around and stuff.
Yeah, like pings around. They duck. Oh shit. That whole thing. And of course, that is going to come up later. That's one of his big things. Is this gun he made out of a
nutcracker
by accident? So apparently, I guess I don't know the science behind chestnuts. I'm not a big chestnut eater, so
yeah,
I don't know. So apparently, if you don't warm up a chestnut just right and you crack the skin, it explodes like a projectile. So also his grandpa has like a bunker.
What?
Like an underground bunker that doesn't really come into play at all.
Really?
A lot of this stuff doesn't come into play, but his grandpa hates Christmas. That's the main thing to take from it. His grandpa hates Christmas, and we very quickly get the origins of Santa. Like his grandpa was telling him, like, better not write a letter to Santa this year or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, Grandpa, why do you hate Santa?" And he pulls out the Book of Claws. The Book of Claws is this big tome that he has. He has it hidden in a safe. It's like a big movie tome. You know what I mean? You see the big mysterious book.
Kind of like
the kid has a line which I enjoyed where he's like, "What is that? The Necronomicon?"
Oh no shit!
There we go. We got something for us. And nice. He pulls out the book and he tells us the story of Claws. And this is the animated sequence you see.
Yes. So I did look up the stop motion sequence.
We find out that there, through his grandpa's story, there are two immaculate conceptions. There are only two immaculate conceptions throughout the entire history of time. One is, of course, Jesus Christ. The other is Santa Claus.
Santa Claus was an
immaculate conception. And for whatever reason, around every year on his birthday, there would be just a bunch of deaths. So people started to, his birthday was actually Christmas Day.
Okay.
So, which became known as the Day of Slaying. So, to kind of combat the effects of the Day of Slaying, people would get together and they would have a big religious mass. They would pray to Christ in the Christ Mass, Christmas, as a way of like warding off the bad mojo, this evil
son of Satan,
to ward him off.
Okay,
so that's kind of their. I don't know how much that is actually, because it's supposed to be the family is of Norse origin, so I don't know if that's actually like Norse mythology of Santa, or if it's just the bullshit they've thrown in the movie.
Well,
that's the origin they have dictated from the Book of Claws,
right? Okay, I don't know that it's too accurate to Norse mythology, although if you kind of go off the theory that Santa is related to Odin, which actually has the Librarians already come out, right?
Yep, Librarians came out.
Yeah. So we kind of saw that they took their mythos and tied it to Odin too, which I do believe is in our real world mythology. So if that's the case, there is a bit of a precedent for Santa being a bit on the brutal side, because Odin has some brutal shit in his stories. So that's interesting.
So the animated sequence you saw.
Yes.
So randomly an angel who's disguised as an old man.
Yeah.
The old man looks a little familiar.
He does.
To someone else in the movie.
Oh.
So the angel takes the...
I was thinking like Doc Brown.
Well, that's basically what this grandpa is. He's basically doing a Doc Brown thing. But the angel takes the body of an old man. Why? I have no idea. If you're an angel and you have the ability to take form of anyone or anything, why take the appearance of an old man? Like,
right.
What's the purpose of that? Like, why not take the appearance of this like young, fit, person?
Right.
No, it's like I'm just an old man. He's a humble angel. He's like, I'm not shooting for the moon here.
I just want to know what it's like for my knees and back to hurt, I guess.
Yeah. I want to know what it's like to not be able to control my bowels and have to pee at all times. Also, I really love Werther's candy for some reason now.
Yep. Always candy now. Just that's the drug of choice for old people.
Yep.
We learned that from Bubba
So what happens is this old man angel randomly sees Santa on an ice lake doing fishing with these elves. Now, when I first saw this movie the first time, I was expecting we see it later in like Krampus and stuff, but they show these elves. He's like fishing with his elves. He's basically using his elves as bait. He's a bastard.
Yes.
And these elves are like little goblins.
Santa, no,
and
please.
I thought maybe we would see like little, like him have creatures. Because the only creature we see him have is the hell deer.
The hell deer.
Like I would have thought he would have had some little minions, like kind of like we see in Krampus.
It would have been pretty cool to see like those little goblin-y guys. I liked them, actually. I thought that was a pretty neat take on elves.
The little couple seconds we got with him, but he kind of like throws these little elves. He's fishing with them.
Yeah.
And the old man randomly comes out and like confronts him or whatever, and like they make a deal where I believe it's if the old man loses this contest, it's like that they're about to have,
this wager.
He will have to. I forget what he has. Yeah,
he's going to go to hell. I think he has to
go to hell
to Satan or something like that, if I remember right.
And if not, then Santa will have to only adhere to like good for 1,000 years.
Yeah, to make Christmas a jolly day for 1,000 years or something like that.
For 1,000 years.
Nice. So
the contest, because I guess Santa is he knew that Santa was a gambling man. And Santa accepts the wager because he's like, oh, why would I be? And maybe that was the point of taking the form of the old man, was to kind of like bait him. Yeah, maybe that was the point. So I guess if you did come out and you were like this like jacked, fit athletic person, you're like, I want to do this sporting event. Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, something's up here.
But he decides he's going to play him, and they have a curling competition. I know nothing about curling. It's an Olympic sport, I suppose, and it's also very big in Canada.
Which is so strange. Like just watching a rock slide across the ice is interesting. Although it's kind of cool. It looks like they kind of.
It looks like there's some skill to it. There's definitely some skill. It's kind of like I'm sure it's like people looking at Americans and us playing like cornhole. It seems kind of like what it's like. It seems like kind of like
they're like, why would it? Yeah, why would you play cornhole? I mean, I do, but I don't know why.
I still don't understand how to fucking play cornhole.
Yeah, I don't know. We really like to throw things into holes in different ways as a species, I think.
As a species, yes. Collectively, yeah, we do. They do this curling competition. Santa throws his first, and it gets as close to the edge as possible without going in, which I guess is the goal, is to get it as close as possible without actually slipping into the hole.
Right.
And he throws it like just teeters on the edge, and there's no way the old man can win, because the only way if it goes any further, it'll go in the hole.
Right.
So he throws it and just throws it just right to where it slides across very slow. And instead of edging the goal, it knocks Santa's rock into the hole, thus making his the last one standing. So he wins the competition. Santa has to adhere to the wager and be nice for 1,000 years. And guess what? 1,000 years are up. This Christmas.
Time's up.
Who would have thunk it?
Unbelievable. No, that's crazy.
Yes.
What are the odds?
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So Santa's back, and then we find out why he's randomly out and about killing people and stuff. And the reason, I guess, it all comes into play with the town name of Hell. I guess when he loses the competition, he tells the angel he'll follow him to hell and back, or hell, or whatever. So that was why he went to hell, this town of Hell.
The angel was being cheeky.
Yeah. Being cheeky with him. So
okay.
And then from this point on, we get just a bunch of like random bits of killing.
Okay.
Santa Claus goes to the delicatessen, the Mr. Green's deli, and kills him with a menorah.
Oh, Mr. Green, the only nice guy?
Yep, the only nice guy. He impales him through the throat with a menorah.
Jesus.
The candlestick. I believe that's what it's called, right?
I think it's a menorah. Let me double check that so that we're not horribly, Yeah,
I don't want to get that wrong. I want to make Mike mad.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do that.
But he stabs him with the Jewish candlestick in the deli.
Yeah.
He killed Mr. Green in the deli with the candlestick. and he stabs him in the throat. And there's a really weird scene here too that I totally forgot about. And I was waiting to see if anything came from it. Nothing does. It's super weird.
Oh.
It makes zero sense. While he's killing Mr. Green, or after he kills Mr. Green, first weird thing that happens, he leaves the deli, and these Jewish rabbis come around the corner, and he growls at them, and then walks along, and the Jewish rabbis just kind of like stare and like cower.
Really?
And
that's it?
That's bit number one. It didn't make any sense.
Okay.
And bit number two, our main character, Nicholas, goes to a gas station, and he walks in and says, "Oh, I can have some gum." It's revealed that behind the counter is Tiny Lister. Do you know who Tiny Lister is?
No.
He's out of that guy. He's have you ever seen Friday?
Friday? Just Friday?
Yeah.
Not Friday the 13th? Or...
No, just Friday.
No.
Oh, Eric, you're too white.
I know. I'm sorry.
Look up Tiny Lister. You'll know who he is when you see it.
Tiny Lister.
But anyways, yeah, while you're looking it up, I'll continue because I'm sure most audiences.
Oh, no.
That guy.
Okay. Tiny Lister Jr.?
Yeah. So Tiny Lister is there behind the counter. And he's like, "Oh, I've never recognized you." He's like, "Oh, I'm new to town. I came here because there's too much crime in the hood." That's one of his lines.
Okay.
Zero sense why.
Right.
Also, for some reason, too, there's like a little like rap beat playing. Like when he's revealed, it's like a little rap beat playing behind him. Like they really like to play it up. I don't know what the deal is here. He's like, "No, I don't have any gum." The guy who was supposed to deliver the gum got killed last night at the strip club.
Oh my God.
That's all I've got. And he hands him this gum called smoking gum, which is like a nicotine gum. And Nicholas kid's like, "Oh, I'll take it. It sounds hot." And thus is the end of the scene.
That's it?
Do we see Tiny Lister anymore? No. Really? Tiny Lister's this big, intimidating guy who also is a former wrestler. He's Zeus. He wrestled in the WWF back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
So I was thinking, oh, well, you have these two big, intimidating wrestlers.
They're going to have a fight off.
Surely they're going to come into play. No, this is the last time you see Tiny Lister.
He's just in a little cameo.
There. He gives him smoking gum, which, by the way, doesn't come into play at all. I didn't know. I was thinking the whole time. I was like, surely this smoking gum comes into play at some point. No, it never does. Just I do not understand what the point of this bit was. You get no development from anything other than the radio buzzes. He has a police scanner and it says, "Oh, there's been a super weird too." Instead of saying, "Hey, there's been a murder at the deli," it's like, "Oh, there's been an act of vandalism at the deli." I don't know why that was the call they made.
Okay,
but Nicholas is like, "Oh, I gotta go see what's going on." He goes to the deli. There's no cops there, and he walks in, and there's still just the guy, Mr. Green, impaled to the wall with a candlestick through his throat, holding him up.
Jeez.
And the cops show up later, and also as the cops are coming in, another weird bit. Those Jewish rabbis are outside, and they start just making fun of their last names.
They making fun of their own last names.
No, the cops make fun of the Jewish guy's last names. They're like, "Oh, what's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Rabbi Shlomo." He's like, "Oh, like the speed, like slow, like."
Jeez.
Zero, no comedic value whatsoever. But they decided, let's throw that little bit in there. I don't know what the Jewish thing is with this movie. I really wish Mike would have luscious with this. Maybe he could have filled this. Maybe this is funny to Jewish people. I don't know.
Yeah,
but maybe this is like some deep Seinfeld stuff. I don't know. But the cop, by the way, the main cop. And they love in this movie to make fun of names and use names and puns.
Okay,
gotcha. He is Officer Cock.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Captain Cock is what.
Captain Cock.
Captain Cock.
I don't get it.
There are some absolutely hilarious bits. What's up with you and Cock? You're always talking about Cock. Cock never leaves you alone. There's all that stuff that we get later on in the movie.
Jesus,
because that is hilarious.
Yes,
and
subtle,
subtle. Yeah, it's such that deep comedy. And
what you think?
It's super weird. Like nothing comes from Mr. Green being dead. Like there's all these like massacres that are happening in this town, like on Christmas Day, and there's no like we've got to cancel this or that. Like there's even like a Christmas thing going on. Like they're getting ready for their big Christmas festival. There's not even like the Jaws thing of like we got to shut down the Christmas festival. Oh, none of that. It's just a thing that's going on. All these murders just taking place, and no one's really giving a shit.
In isolation and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
The rest of the world is like going on just fine.
Everything. Yeah. Everything's just going on as it would. And Santa Claus finally makes contact with Nicholas. because when he killed Mr. Green in the deli, there was a picture hang on the wall of Nicholas, Mr. Green, and Grandpa.
Okay.
And he took note of that.
Oh, okay. Because he would
And
recognize Grandpa, maybe.
he recognized Grandpa.
Okay.
And Nicholas and his girlfriend and Mary, they just kind of bump into Santa. Santa Claus just like kind of like bumps into him, like, "Hey, here I am," whatever.
Yeah.
And I was wrong about something earlier. So,
oh yeah,
yes, they bump into Santa Claus because Santa Claus had went to the police station and killed all the cops.
Oh, okay.
He killed all the cops because the cops also took Nicholas and Mary to jail to question about Mr. Green's murder because Nicholas was there. Or they took Nicholas because Mary's not there yet. They took Nicholas in because Nicholas was like the first one to get to the deli and find Mr. Green. So they took him in.
Gotcha.
They questioned him.
Very suspicious.
He told him about how he thinks Santa Claus is there to kill people, and obviously like that's bullshit. But Mary bails him out.
Okay.
And Santa had followed them to the police station, and he goes in and kills all the police just as Mary and them have left.
Oh, of course, including Captain Cock.
Including Captain Cock, yeah. Okay. And that's where we get all the stuff with Mary telling Nicholas, "Oh, you just can't keep Cock off away from you. You're Cock loves you," and all this stuff. And it's implied that this is like really the only first time we've ever seen this cop and Nicholas interact. But the way she talks, it sounds like that.
They have
this kid is like, getting harassed by the police, which is not a thing.
Oh,
but
okay. They just used it for the joke.
Just for the bit, yeah. And just as all this is going on, the cop car pulls up behind him and pulls him over.
Oh, okay.
And from the cop car is Santa Claus.
Oh, my goodness. No way.
Yep. Santa Claus drove the cop car, pulled him over, and then they get out. They get pursued by Santa, and this was the part I was wrong about. This does come into play. Okay. Is that Mary just happens to have a shotgun in her truck because her dad's gun crazy.
Because her dad's a gun nut. Got it. Okay.
Gun nut. Yeah.
Okay,
so they use a shotgun.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. So Santa Claus jumps in the back of the truck as they're driving away, and Nicholas shoots Santa Claus out of the truck, and they go to Grandpa's, and Grandpa's like, did Santa follow you here? They go to the bunker. That plays no real point to the movie at all.
Okay.
That's a place for them to have this scene. Suddenly a bunch of carolers show up on the doorstep, and Santa just comes in and kills all the carolers. Just
oh no.
Massive, throws them around. A lot of the kills he does are just like throwing people. I guess assuming so hard that they die on impact.
Gotcha.
And
WWE style kills.
Just WWE style, yeah, WWE style kills. They kill the whole group gets killed, and
oh dear.
Then our group now, which is made of Mary, Nicholas, and Santa or Grandpa, they go off. They flee, but as they're fleeing, we get Grandpa gets killed.
What?
He gets ran over by Santa's Yule deer, to which Santa says Grandpa got ran over by a reindeer.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Yes. So they got that bit in there.
Which it does look like a real it looks like they were using a real buffalo for probably not all of it, but I was looking at pictures earlier. That looks like a buffalo.
I think they probably did for the most part. I know that's a thing they'll do with animals. They'll kind of
throw a costume over them. It kind of looks like that is what they did. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, Grandpa got run over by
a reindeer.
Okay.
Nicholas and Mary go to the school, and the gymnasium, which has an ice hockey rink.
Is that why they go to the school for that?
The whole time, Nicholas is under this impression. He got a gift from Mr. Green in the first act, and it's this global clock that has the time for all time zones basically. And Nicholas has surmised that at 7 o'clock his time, 7 p.m. his time, is midnight in the North Pole. So at that point, it's midnight. It'd be no longer Christmas. Therefore, Santa will have lost his power. So that's kind of what he's banking on. Is like, we have to just survive till 7 p.m. and it'll all be over. And Santa shows up. 7 o'clock rolls around, and Santa's still on his spree. He's still chasing after him, and Santa tells him that was bullshit because, in fact, the North Pole is where all time zones intersect. So Christmas ends whenever he wants to end.
Oh, so it can just always be Christmas if he wants, because
it's from what I get from that line. But but as they're being chased by Santa on a Zamboni, one of the big ice cart things. Yeah, he gets on a Zamboni and starts chasing him around the ice rink.
I mean, why not your hell deer?
Exactly.
I don't. Okay.
But they are suddenly saved by Grandpa. Now in all white clothes. He's an angel now.
That's right. He's an angel.
He's an angel.
Okay.
And he tells Santa, I challenge you again to a curling match.
Oh no.
Santa Claus shoots a little thing and opens up a hole in the ice rink and says, "All right, you're on." And they're getting ready to do their curling thing, and Santa just picks up Grandpa and throws it off.
What?
He curls him into the hole.
Oh my god.
And then he just the other he starts gloating, but Nicholas has an ace up his sleeve.
Okay.
He pulls out the nutcracker with a chestnut loaded in it, cracks off a chestnut, shoots Santa, knocks him down, and he utters the one-liner, which I'm sure someone thought was way cooler than it actually was. He goes, "Chestnut."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Because he shot him in the chest with the chestnut. Santa Claus falls down. We hear Grandpa, "Hey, somebody help me." And we go over. Grandpa's not dead. He just he held on at the last second to the hole, which is leading to hell. It's a pit of hell.
He's just dangling above a fiery pit to hell in the middle of an ice ring.
Yep. So they save him, and they turn around. Santa's got up. He hops on a Zamboni and drives through the wall, and he's escaped. And Grandpa tells Nicholas that Santa is bluffing, that that Christmas is actually over at 7 p.m. Santa's bluffing about the whole Christmas ends when he says it. So they're telling him, he tells him that Santa has no power after Christmas. Santa only has his power from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day.
Okay,
and that's it.
But didn't he?
For the rest of the time, I guess I'm assuming he's mortal, or he has mortal weaknesses at that point.
Okay, even though
Santa jumps from his hell deer and takes off into the sky and he picked up along the way Pastor Timmons, who is now dressed in a Santa Claus, dressed in a Santa costume.
He's dressed as Santa
because he was the town Santa.
Oh my god!
As well. So Santa's flying around. They go to Nicholas, Grandpa, and Mary. Find Mary's dad, who's out with his buddies skeet shooting, and they tell him, "Hey, if you want the biggest trophy ever on your wall, you gotta shoot down Santa Claus." And all of his buddies are like, "Hell yeah!"
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Kill Santa. So they just Santa flies into it, or is flying at him. They all open fire, and then he suddenly explodes because Mary's dad has a bazooka.
Oh my god!
that he got from his one buddy. He has a friend who is a Native American guy with a voice, one of those voice things, like "Hello, I am," one of those things.
Oh, he
lost his voice, his vocal cords, or
like
whatever.
A trachea thing.
Yeah, he's got one of those.
Okay,
and he tells him, "Oh yeah, where'd you get that bazooka from?" He's like, "Oh, I got it from." His friend, I forget his name. He got it for him because he saved up all of his Marlboro tokens, which is why he has no vocal cords.
Oh
he smoked his vocal cords away to get his friend a bazooka from Marlboro, I guess.
Jeez, oh man, what the fuck?
so if there's no plot hole, they made sure to explain.
It's all covered. You can literally see the effect from his smoking.
Yeah,
and just how many Marlboros it would have taken to
get a bazooka that Marlboro offers in their catalog, apparently.
Oh my god!
And we see Santa Claus fall down, and he gets impaled on the American flag.
What?
He gets impaled on the American flag, and all seems to be well until they go over. And guess what?
Oh,
it wasn't the Santa. It was Pastor Timmons.
It was a fucking pastor. Wow, he made it.
But Christmas is over. Santa's gone. His powers are lost. And the movie is over until we cut to like a pre-credit scene. Everyone's all rejoicing. Also, Grandpa told him that Nicholas that he was an angel up until he met his grandma, who he gave up all of his powers. Being his grandma, thus creating their bloodline or whatever.
Okay,
and
that's
so
how he's able to have a grandson.
Yeah,
got it.
Exactly. Yeah, he gave all his powers with his grandma. So there's a little like pre-credit scene where there's an airport, which has got flights to the North Pole, and we see the stewardess like, all right, Mr. Shaitan, here's your boarding pass, and the camera zooms around. It's Santa Claus dressed in like a biker outfit for some reason, and he boards his flight to the North Pole because his reindeer did get killed in that explosion. The bazooka thing did kill the hell deer.
Poor hell.
It just didn't kill him.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then there's a post-credit scene later on, like way at the end of the credits, where Santa's checking his naughty list, and he looks at the camera and says, "Who's next?" Because that's Goldberg's catchphrase.
His catchphrase. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Wow.
And thus is Santa's sleigh. That cover it? Do you have any questions? What's your takeaway from Santa's sleigh?
So, how many of the kills was he using like signature moves to do? Were there a lot of those?
He only does like a spear. He spears someone.
Okay.
Which is like Goldberg's like move, is like a football tackle, basically.
Okay.
Gotcha. Is that what you mean? Like the wrestling stuff? Is that
that's kind of what I mean. Yeah, I guess I should.
That's one I really remember. I know he does a spear, I think, during the strip club thing.
Yeah.
So that's like the first, that's like the only real brawl kind of thing. But I'm pretty sure he does some more in that.
Right.
But that's the only thing that really stands out is that he does the spear, because that was like Goldberg's signature move. But Santa, for the most part, most of the kills are pretty unique.
Okay.
As they can be. He's usually using something as a gag or...
Right.
Oh, there's a random... I forgot to mention this. There's also a random bit in that like sequence of like random kills where there's like it's Christmas morning, and there's like this like family opening presents, and there's these two little bratty kids who are like, "Where's my fucking presents? Yeah, why do we have to... where's my shit at?" And, they're being little brats. The mom's like, "Here's your presents." And they open them up, and they're explosives, and they blow their heads off.
Jesus
the
Christ.
The two kids' heads explode. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And that's like a little bit they show and they move on from. Like, it's like, they're there.
They just got away from the
yep.
It just
there's like that. There's no follow up. Yeah. It just blows these two kids' heads off.
Well, wow. Yeah. It doesn't seem like a very,
it's a very mean spirited movie.
It is.
It's
interesting.
Very mean-spirited.
I wonder if it's more mean-spirited than Thanksgiving, though. That was a pretty mean-spirited movie.
It was, but I feel like Thanksgiving was a little more fun.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I like Thanksgiving all the way through. Because like they have like, it's intentionally bad. And they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they know like all of these boring parts where we have to have exposition. Let's at least make them stupid.
Right.
And there's all these like everything's a gag in Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Everything's a bit. And this one, anytime Santa Claus is not on screen, I do not enjoy it. I don't enjoy the movie
with it.
Yeah, like this isn't a movie I like. I wouldn't even say I watch it every year. Like I really don't watch it every year. Like Thanksgiving, I watch every year.
Right.
When Thanksgiving comes around, I know I'm watching Thanksgiving. Yeah. Santa's Sleigh, I'll watch if it comes on, or if I, for this purpose, I knew we wanted to do it for Christmas, so I watched for this. But for the most part, I don't just seek out this movie to watch, even though I do love Goldberg as Santa. Like I really would have liked to seen this character more.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't like warrant more. They didn't like do a sequel or something like that. I remember seeing this movie a lot on like TV. I forget there was a station. I remember like, I'm trying to think if it was Sci-Fi or TNT or something, USA, some station. I remember like when I was younger, I would see it, kind of annually on something.
Right.
Because that's the first time I watched it on TV for the first time. That's where I watched it. I watched the TV edit of it.
Okay.
Then I think later I rented it on DVD from my video store.
Boy,
but no, this is a movie I watch religiously. I'd say this is probably only my fourth or fifth time watching it, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
But I do love the Goldberg Santa stuff. Like I really do enjoy that. But the movie itself is just very lazy.
Yeah.
For the most part, they should have utilized the title character more and had a little more fun with it.
Right.
Because there's a lot of opportunity to have fun with this character where they decide they want to focus on these boring central characters.
Right. Nobody really really would care about.
No.
Doesn't sound like it. Yeah, kind of from what I was seeing, it doesn't sound like too many people were a big fan of the main character. It's
not. It's got a very mixed review, very mixed reception to it. Yeah. I think universally, for the most part, people really do enjoy Bill Goldberg as Santa Claus. I think that is like that's like what most people are going to take from this movie is the title character.
Yeah,
even I forgot about most of the plot points watching this. If it wasn't Goldberg killing people, I really didn't remember much of it.
I almost kind of wish, you're making me kind of wish that they had spent more time with that opening family and just kind of made that movie, like made them the characters that we're mostly dealing with in the movie.
Yeah.
That would have been way more interesting. Because
they're obviously much more talented people there. Those are like very talented actors.
Definitely bigger names,
James Caan, Chris Kattan. Those are talented actors.
That's a shame about the woman who played Mary. Like I said, she was in Lost, and I thought she did great in Lost.
Oh, that's right, she was. Yeah. She was in Lost.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of where I remember seeing her from.
Yeah. Mostly Lost. Familiar. I think she was also in The Hills Have Eyes, but she's.
Oh, yeah.
I actually find her to be a pretty good actress, so that's a shame. Not that I really saw the example of her acting in this. It just sounds like she didn't have much to do as a character.
No, it wasn't anything like her talent. I think that the main character, Nicholas, I think his was a mix of his performance and his writing, but hers was mainly just her writing.
Gotcha.
But that was Santa's Sleigh, 2005. You've never seen it? I would say, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's like a
must see,
required reading or anything like that, or a required watch. I think probably the best way to enjoy this movie is to like go on YouTube and watch like a highlight reel, in my opinion.
Okay,
Santa Sleigh highlights or a Santa Sleigh kill count,
right? And it does kind of
that's probably the fair way of watching this movie.
Yeah, just watch the good bits. It looks like YouTube kind of has like, sometimes people will put up like scenes from movies and stuff. It looks like YouTube has a lot of the big scenes in there. Like I said, I watched the opening scene and then that stop motion scene in there on YouTube. Got the, all the comments were like best opening ever to a movie. And I was like, I can see that. That's pretty, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the opening is pretty good. The movie has like the opening scene's really good. Anything with Goldberg is just great in that movie. Yeah. That's the highlights. I mean, if you want to watch this movie, I would definitely just suggest going on YouTube and checking out a kill count or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's my opinion.
Fair enough. Although if you do want to, watch and support the movie, then feel free to. I think I might just to watch it through at least once. I probably won't watch it 4 times like Ty has. Yeah. Which actually is a really low number.
4 times over the course of 15 years though.
Yeah. So. Right. Since it's existed, which like you'll watch movies over and over and over. Like I'm sure you have movies that you've seen probably literally close to 100 times.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you talk about like Predator and Tremors, things like that. I've watched those movies more times than I can even count. Bubba Hotep. I mean, I can't even count how many times I've watched that movie. But there's movies like that. But no, with this, I mean, I bought it on DVD this year. So it's not even something I've had in my collection. I just bought it this year just to have for this because Tubi was about to take it off their platform. So I was like, well, I don't really want to have it available to me. So I bought it for cheap, like $7, and it's going to go in it's going to go in the DVD like binder I have. I'm not going to keep it out. So it's going to go in the binder. It's not a display piece or anything.
Tucked away into the archives. Yep. It's not going to be out
put it in the archives.
See the light of day.
And maybe I'll, if I find someone that really wants to watch it, I'll pull it out and watch it with them. But no, this isn't required viewing in my experience. And I would hazard to say if I had been on the Christmas movie special that we had out Tuesday, prior to watching this, I probably would have touted it very high.
Oh yeah,
because I think I do have like the rose tinted glasses on of like enjoying the parts of Goldberg,
right?
Where I probably would have elevated the movie
because of his performance.
Yeah. But watching the movie in its entirety now, I can look at it and be like, this is a bad movie. It was not enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Until Goldberg, you're the whole time you're just like, where give me Santa Claus, like put Santa back on screen because it's totally uninteresting. Everything else about it's uninteresting.
So it makes sense that you would kind of like elevate it because like the rest of it is so damn forgettable. You literally forget about it.
Exactly.
And just remember those highlights. Which actually, speaking of, I'm curious about what your favorite kill in the movie was.
Favorite kill?
If you had to pick one.
Favorite kill
or series of kills. I guess it sounds like a lot of people died in groups.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say that opening sequence. The opening sequence really sets a precedence for the movie that it doesn't live up to.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Gotcha. Yeah,
that
it was
opening
so good.
sequence is that because I feel like that's kind of like what the movie was. Like you said, it probably should have just been that. This is real shitty family
Yeah.
who are all unlikable.
Yeah.
Getting killed in memorable ways. Because that's the I feel like where this movie shines.
Yeah.
Like these characters don't ever reach like the Rob Zombie movie level of unlikableness, where like everyone's just like a trailer trash, scumbags, but they are like pretty unlikable in the sense that everyone's just the worst kind of Christmas
right.
person. I mean, like,
yeah.
Now, one of my favorite things about the movie is, and he doesn't do it a lot, but when he does, it's pretty good. Is when Goldberg like spouts off these like Christmas themed one-liners.
Right.
Like
right.
when he's in the strip club, he does the whole ho ho ho's thing. I think he has some others. The one I really remember is like he picks up the pastor and like the pastor ends up in his sleigh, that leads up to the end where he dies or whatever. But he's like, you're Santa Claus. Why are you doing this? And he's like, oh, I'm just trying to spread some Yuletide fear. I was like, that's pretty good.
There you go. I'm a little bit of a sucker for a good one-liner when it's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a bad one. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, I'd like to know more about the making of this movie. I'll have to look on my DVD, see if there's a making of. But I know it won't go in like the juicy tidbits. I'd just kind of like to know like where it came from. Like why was Brett Ratner, and well, I guess what did his assistant do to like say, hey, I want to do a Christmas horror movie, and Brett Ratner decided, oh yeah, I'll join you on that.
Yeah.
But no, like the casting of Goldberg was a super unique idea, and that's what the first time I remember watching this was on TV, and I'm flipping through the channels, and you see Goldberg as Santa Claus, and you stop because it's like, wow, this is a very impressive looking Santa. It's a very awe-inspiring, because his Santa is badass. It's even got like an old like Norse like motif to it.
He does, and he looks like a fucking Viking. Like,
exactly. He's got
really
that like Viking look to it. Yeah.
But he's a terrifying guy. Like that was pretty cool. As a Santa,
that's like I said, that's where this movie shines when we have Goldberg as
that was a lot
Santa
scarier
Claus.
than I thought he would be. Just like holy Jesus, that voice itself is just terrifying.
So that was me telling you all about Santa's sleigh. This is our Christmas Eve special. It's very different. It was different, kind of just explaining a movie to someone.
Well, you were telling me a story, my Christmas Eve story.
Christmas Eve story, to put you to bed for a big Christmas day. And tomorrow you get to unwrap the present of 2015's Krampus, as brought to you by the Cult Talk Net and our Christmas Day special.
Yes, I'm very excited for you guys to listen to that.
Fun ride.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I don't think we need to harp on it anymore. I mean, I if I had to review this movie, I would, if I was to give it like anything, I'd give it like maybe like 2 out of 5 hell deer. And that's because the reason you're coming to this movie is to see Goldberg as Santa Claus doing slasher Santa Claus things. And you do get that, but when you're not getting it, the movie is a dredge to get through. You're just kind of wading through the shit to get to the Goldberg moments. These moments of good shit that's in there. But for the most part, it's kind of bland. I did not enjoy any time when Bill Goldberg's on screen, which is never a good thing for your movie. You want to try to make your movie entertaining throughout.
Yes, of course.
Not so reliant on your central character, but this was very reliant on our central character.
Yeah, it's at least got to be engaging between the highlights. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So, well, thank you for taking that one for me.
Yeah.
And presenting it so well. I'll give your presentation 5 out of 5 Goldberg spear tackles.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Another thing I'd like to know about this, like, and the making of, and also it's just like how they convinced some of these actors to be part of it, or why even some of these actors were part of it. Like I said, the Tiny Lister thing makes no sense. To have this like character actor. I don't even think he's Canadian, so they'd like fly him up to
Canada. Of course, I think they do a lot of shooting
in
Canada in general. Maybe not back in that time, but
right.
So
he must have just like been like in the area or something like that, or like maybe shooting another movie and was just like, oh, I'm here in Canada.
I don't know. Maybe
he's good friends with Goldberg or Brett Ratner or someone. They're like, yeah, come on over and shoot this bit we have where you give this kid gum. I don't know, like this central piece of the movie that we're trying to fill up 2 minutes of screen time where this kid makes a bad joke about gum. That's what it was. It was like, oh, smoking gum. Never tried it. Sounds hot. And then the whole crowd erupted in laughter.
Like, yep, nope, brilliant writing,
Yes.
standing ovation.
But yeah, there we go. That was Santa's sleigh.
Yep.
I hope everyone's ready for Christmas.
Oh yes,
Christmas Eve. Hope everyone's having a good time and just ready to enjoy the holiday.
Yep.
Like I said, tomorrow we have Krampus coming out, 2015 Krampus. We're doing like a watch along like we did for Trick or Treat in October. We did for Thanksgiving in November. Yep. This will wrap up the holiday trilogy we have for you guys for the holiday season, our 2021 holiday trilogy, I guess.
Trilogy. All right. Yeah.
Try to make that a thing every year. We'll try to drop the 3 big end of the year holidays for you guys.
There we go.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed, Eric, hearing all about Santa's sleigh.
Yes.
And I saved you from having to sit through the boring parts of it. And now you can just go and you can watch the highlights and have some context as to what you're missing.
There we go. No, I'm all set now to watch the big scenes and watch the crazy kills, and I'll know what's going on thanks to you, Ty. I
should
really
we add should we add Santa's sleigh to the Bulgaria list? Think we get Goldberg to fly to Bulgaria?
We could always just send him a message to ask. We'll see if he's on board. If I say if he is, and we add it to the Bulgaria list.
Oh wow!
What's
that now? We got the Maniac Cop one there, the Twister reimagining, or no, the Armageddon reimagining.
Yep.
Santa's sleigh now. I'm sure we had more. Like I said, I want to do a route. We need to pitch this as a reality show to some network
of us doing some cheap remakes,
where it's like, all right, there's 6 of us.
Yep.
We're all talented in various fields.
Yep.
We each go out, we make a movie in Bulgaria, and we see what happens. There's your pitch, Travel Channel.
There you go. Ooh, Travel Channel. Yeah. There we go.
We'll call it Bulgaria Wood or something like that.
Bulgaria Wood. Yeah. I think that's probably the safest name. I was going to go with like Bulgwood, but that sounds like that might be.
Bulgaria just sounds bad. It's just not a good name for a country.
Make a better name, Bulgaria.
Make a better name. Come on.
What are you doing?
We're going to get over there. We'll have enough influence at a certain point when we start reviving their economy by bringing in all this like film work. We'll pull some strings in Parliament or whatever their government system is, and we'll make some changes. We're gonna make Bulgaria great again. It's gonna happen. Yeah, we're gonna get over there. We're gonna not only are we gonna like make some cheap straight to video horror movies, we're gonna reform that country.
Yes, there we go. It'll henceforth be known as Tigeria.
Oh wow! I'm gonna be king. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. There you go.
That would be a fitting destiny for me. I end up as the king of Bulgaria. It would be like a full circle thing, I start out watching Python 2 and stuff on Sci-Fi, and then getting introduced to Bulgaria to eventually running the country,
eventually ruling the country.
It's gonna be a great TV of the month or TV of the week. Biopic. I'll have a great biopic.
Ty's rise to power.
Starring Kevin Sorbo as Ty. I'll see if I can pull some strings, get Chris Kattan to play you.
Oh, that would be great. I think that'd be perfect.
This was a good time. I'm glad we had a good time this episode. I was shooting for a half-hour episode, and we're at an hour and a half. So I tried, but we had such a good time talking about it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's something for you to listen to while you're wrapping presents or preparing the meal for tomorrow.
Or leaving out some cookies and milk for Santa.
Yep, but I think this is a good time to let you guys know. Have a Merry Christmas from all us here at Cult Talk Net.
Yes,
we'll see you guys in the morning when we open up Krampus 2015. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Obviously, you're here on YouTube because this is a YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
At Cult Talk Net. Check out our podcast, Cult Talk Weird Shit.
Yes.
Which comes out every other week, where we review a bunch of weird stuff. Just Wednesday, we had our Christmas episode where we talked about a bunch of weird Christmas happenings.
Yeah.
Call to Campbell, which as of now is a weekly episode, as a weekly show.
Yep.
And we just released our Christmas special on Monday, where we talked about The Librarians and Santa's Midnight Run, where we get to see Bruce Campbell play Santa Claus.
Yes.
You and I did that one, Eric.
Yes, we did
as well. We spent a lot of time this holiday. So
we have been. Good thing we like each other.
Yeah, good thing. Yeah, we play with each other well. Hopefully, Chris Kattan and Kevin Sorbo have the same chemistry on screen. We'll have to see if they can.
Hopefully,
we'll see if they can capture the same stuff.
Yeah.
But until then, everyone, have a Merry Christmas from all of us here at Cult Talk Net.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys enjoyed Santa's Sleigh and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.